The world loves to watch women fail, to tear them down, to make drama out of every single move. But some women just refuse to give them that satisfaction. They stay calm and confident and completely untouchable. And Hailey Bieber has spent years being the blueprint for exactly that, because she has lived under a level of public scrutiny that most of us cannot fully imagine, constantly compared to Justin's ex, accused of things she never did, dissected for every outfit and every caption and every facial expression, and instead of fighting back or trying to clear her name, she just kept moving. Welcome back to Iconic Her, and today we are learning from Hailey Bieber the real psychology behind how she stays unbothered, how she built one of the most successful skincare brands in the world while the internet was busy arguing about her, and what every single one of her lessons means for your own life. So, let's get into it. The first thing to understand about Hailey's whole approach is something so simple it almost sounds too obvious. What you feed grows and what you starve dies, and the more attention you give to negativity, the bigger it becomes. And Hailey has lived this completely. She has said no one gets away unscathed living in the public eye. People come up with something new every day. I am just like I am living my life, and I am going to keep it moving. And what is genuinely impressive about that is not just the line itself, but the discipline behind it, because she has said in multiple interviews that she avoids the spaces where negativity and gossip live. She does not go looking for the hate threads. She does not let the online drama enter her mental space because she understands that it is unhealthy for both her mind and her focus. And there is a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F that explains this really well. The idea is not that you stop caring about everything, it is that we only have a limited amount of energy and attention, and every time we spend it on gossip or hate or comparison, we are giving that energy away for free. And the real lesson is not to become emotionless. It is to become intentional, to actually decide what is worth your reaction and what is not, because your responsibility was never to control how other people see you. Your responsibility is to protect your own peace and decide where your care actually goes. There was a period where Hailey did try to clear her name, did try to respond, and she has been honest about why she stopped. She said, "Do I want to give anybody the power to disturb my energy like that? No." And I think that question is genuinely worth sitting with, because most of us never actually ask it. We just react automatically. Someone says something untrue, and our instinct is to correct it, to explain, to prove them wrong. And Hailey figured out something that takes most people decades to learn, which is that confidence is not about clearing your name. It is about not needing to, because you can scream and shout and give all the evidence in the world that the sky is blue, and there will still be people convinced it is green. And trying to convince them is not strength. It is actually giving them exactly what they wanted: your attention, your energy, your reaction. And there is a version of this that goes even further. And it is something Trisha Paytas said, which I find genuinely useful. Nobody can ever cancel me because I cancel myself first. When you own your own narrative, even the messy parts, even as a joke, you take away the power other people have to use it against you. And Hailey's recent "What Is in My Bag" video is a perfect example of this. She did not directly respond to the rumors about her stalking Justin or being obsessed with Selena, but she pulled out what looked like dozens of phones and said they were for stalking and creating fake accounts. And she made it funny. She made it hers, and she completely disarmed the entire narrative people had been trying to pin on her. And that is the real power move, not proving people wrong, refusing to be shaken in the first place. Hailey essentially popularized what people now call the clean girl look: the oversized leather jacket, the slicked back bun, the minimal makeup, and her own words about why explains something genuinely important about confidence. She said, "At my core, I feel the coolest and the cutest and the sexiest in a t-shirt and jeans or a pair of great trousers and a little tank top. I think there is something to be said about effortlessness. The more I am trying to make an outfit look good, the less it works. It does not need to be that deep." And I love that quote because it pushes back against something most of us were taught without realizing it, which is that more effort always equals more impressive. And Hailey is telling you the opposite, that the version of yourself that feels most like you, the one that requires the least performance, is usually the one that lands the strongest. And she has also been honest about getting it wrong sometimes. She said, "We cannot learn without flopping. I have worn things where it is like, I love this dress, I feel stunning, and I get on the carpet and I am like, that looks strange." And that honesty matters because it shows that even someone considered a fashion icon is not operating from some place of constant certainty. She is just willing to try things, willing to occasionally get it wrong, and willing to keep trusting her own instinct anyway. And she described her whole aesthetic as wanting to be a little bit tomboy, but still look like a lady. pretty tough, or really, really, really pretty, and that range, that refusal to be only one thing, is its own kind of confidence. While people online were arguing about her, Hailey was quietly building Rhode into one of the fastest-growing skincare brands in the world, and the standard she held herself to while doing it tells you everything about what was actually happening underneath the unbothered exterior. She said, "I am the type of person where I would rather miss a deadline to make sure that the product is actually as good as it can be." When we finally approved the Barrier Restore Cream, it was version 17, and think about what that means. 17 attempts, 17 times of not being satisfied, 17 times of choosing quality over convenience. And that is the part of her story that gets lost when people only focus on the unbothered persona, because being unbothered by noise and being deeply, almost obsessively committed to your actual work are not contradictions. They are the same psychological discipline pointed in two different directions. She also refused to build her brand around the anti-aging narrative the entire beauty industry profits from. She said, "I totally understand how the culture of anti-aging can make you feel bad. That language is definitely not going to be part of our vocabulary at Rhode. Our products are about skin health at any age. I believe in embracing aging, and that is a genuinely rare thing for a beauty founder to say out loud. And it tells you that her unbothered energy is not passive. It is values-driven. She knows exactly what she will not participate in." But here is what makes Hailey's story genuinely useful rather than just aspirational. She's been completely honest that none of this comes easily to her naturally. She said, "Something I found to be really hard and really taxing for my mental health is social media. I am somebody who struggles with people-pleasing, really wanting everybody to like me and caring a lot about what people have to say and think." And I think that admission is actually the most important thing in this entire video, because it means the unbothered version of Hailey is not some natural personality trait she was born with. It is something she actively practices despite being someone who genuinely struggles with wanting to be liked. And she shared a quote that she said she loved: "Comparison kills personality. It makes you think that you have to be someone else or something else, when really your individuality is so special and important." And that is the real takeaway here, not that you need to become naturally unbothered, but that you can build the practice of it even while still caring, even while still being a person who wants to be liked, because the goal was never to stop feeling things. It was to stop letting every feeling dictate your next move. Hailey Bieber said, "I do not see myself as famous. I see myself as a normal person with a job that is not very normal." And I think that line is actually the key to everything we just talked about, because she is not performing some untouchable celebrity persona. She is a person who genuinely struggles with comparison and people-pleasing and the weight of being watched constantly. And she built a practice of protecting her peace anyway, refusing to feed the noise, holding her own work to an impossibly high standard, and choosing effortlessness over performance. And none of that required her to stop being human. It just required her to stop giving her energy to things that were never going to give anything back. Stay iconic.